Y'all already know what it is. Jay Williams, Let's Live Life, and we're back. Today is Sunday. Today is the day before I go pick my brother up from prison. It's about 6 o'clock. I slept, and even when I didn't feel like sleeping, I forced myself to just lay there and sleep some more. I've been asleep off and on all day. And I did that because tonight I have to drive 6 hours to pick my brother up. And I'm not complaining because I know there's a lot of people that would drive 6 years to pick up their family members. It's bittersweet knowing I'm going to get my brother. It's a little scary, just like it was with me. Everybody was scared. Is he going to do right? Is he going to get out and go back to what he used to know? Is he going to get out and start hanging with them guys again? Is he going to bypass us and go right back to the streets? And I have all those fears with my brother. But I've got to have faith in him. And only he can, do what's right in this world. And no reason to say a lot of guys would drive 6 years to pick their family members up. It's because a lot of guys are going to watch this and wish that they could go get their brother. Go get their father, their sister, mom or dad, child, homeboy, whoever, somebody close to them. For a lot of people, this day never comes. For a lot of people, they never get this option. They never get this blessing to go and get their loved one. Because, let's face it, a lot of guys and women are never coming home. I'm happy to do this. Scared, but excited. What is a 6-hour drive? It's just a drive. I'd drive if I was going on vacation, so this is no different. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna shave up, shower. I still got about 5 hours before I gotta leave. Grab him some clothes, pick out a pair of shoes, take him, so he ain't gotta ride back smelling like prison. Here it is, 11 o'clock. Get ready to get on the road, make this trip happen. Got my niece Emily riding with me, so got a long ride. Well, we're gonna get it taken care of. We'll check back in more as we stop at rest stops on the way. Here we go. Let me see you escape that. Climb through all that razor wire, and then up that tall ass fence and over some more razor wire. It'll never happen. There he comes. How you doing?
Chilling.
Like you just got out of the hole.
Yeah. You done got big.
That's what happens when you don't sit in prison. You're happy to be out.
Hell yeah. They got me out of the mountain.
Shit. Where you go if you escape?
Die.
Look. Small mountains and fall. Yeah, you're going nowhere. Straight mountains in front of us. Y'all already know what it is. Jay Williams, Let's Live Life, and we're back. So as I told you on the 18th, I had to go get my brother. I've been driving since 11 o'clock last night, as you can see in my eyes. I've had no sleep. So you've been locked up how long now?
4 years.
4 years. And by the way, his name's Jesse. He is my blood brother. We have the same mother, same father. How was prison?
It sucked, bro.
What sucked about it?
It's everything, like, you know what I mean? Everything is, it's just messed up, It's like, you can't, I'm gonna do what I want to do. It's like, you gonna listen or stuff gonna go down. It's like, you just can't run over these type of prisons, you know. They tell you what to do.
How many prisons were you at in 4 years?
4?
4, and you ended up at Wallace Ridge.
Yeah, Wallace Ridge State Prison.
Which is the highest max prison here in the state of Virginia.
Yeah.
What landed you at Wallace Ridge?
I had an argument with a CO over a phone call, so me and him got in it, and you know, ended up getting into a scrap or whatever, and yeah, they emergency transferred me up there to Wallace Ridge.
How many more fights did you get with COs at Wallace Ridge?
Probably 4.
How does that go down when you get to fight with the guards up there?
Yeah, they don't take that too kindly. So, you know, you get about 4 or 5 of them up there, and you know, they'll whip your ass. You know.
Yeah, you said they about broke your hands.
Yeah, they about broke my hand. You know, they put my hands behind my back, shackles on my feet, lifting me up by my wrist. You know, snap my left wrist.
Is that an everyday thing up there with them beating people up?
Yeah. So they get away with it, you know. They run stuff up there. There's no inmates running anything like other prisons, you know. So, yeah, they run everything.
Tell them about the dogs.
Like the dogs, you know, they got titanium teeth, you know. And when they get a hold of you, it's not letting go, you know. You can come into the pod, and the person that is coming in there to get might be in the back of the pod, but as soon as they come in, there's a person right there on the phone or whatever. That's who they grab, and then they'll end up going to the back of the pod. All they know is to grab an inmate.
As soon as they let the dog go, he just pretty much bites the first person he sees.
Yeah, he just bites anybody, you know, and they get away with that, you know.
You said they got titanium teeth?
Yes, titanium teeth.
Like they pulled their teeth out and screwed in titanium teeth?
Yes.
That's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
You said everywhere you look, they got them guns.
Yeah, they got a gun up in the booth, you know, with mace balls in them, you know.
Tell the people, what's a mace ball?
Mace ball is a big old green ball about the size, you know, of a cue ball, and they hit you with that, and it'll make you and everybody around you. It's some tough shit, and then after they shoot you about 8-9 times with that, they're gonna pull out the other one, and they're gonna shoot you with that. Then you're gonna get down.
What's the other one?
It's another one the size of a cue ball, and it's like a bag with pellets and stuff in it, and they hit you with that. And at the same time they're doing that, the dogs are coming in, and if you're not on the ground by the time the dogs get there, he's gonna eat you up, you know.
Tell them the story you was telling me about, dude. The dog was trying to bite him on his ass.
Yeah, my homeboy, you know, he got to fighting, stabbing another dude, and they came in there, and you know, he was still stabbing dude. They told him to get on the ground. He wouldn't get on the ground, and he's still stabbing dude. And dog ran up, you know, and grabbed him from behind, and they think the whole time that the dog is hooked to his ass, but it's really on his boxers. So when they take him up to medical and stuff, and ask him, you know what I mean, take your boxers down so I can see where the dog bit you, and pull it down, was like, yeah, he got bit by a dog, but he didn't have no bite marks. The dog was holding on to his boxers the whole time.
He was laughing.
Yeah, he was laughing, but they was real mad about that.
He was mad that he didn't get chewed up.
Yeah.
You said there's dudes up there with pieces of their calves missing.
Yeah, pieces of their calves missing, arms, you know, the dog come in like that, you know, bite whoever. When they shoot the gun, you know, it's no accuracy to that gun unless you're underneath the booth. And, you know, about 10, 15 feet. Besides that, there's no accuracy. It shoots whoever, you know. It shot my homeboy on the top tier with him just standing there, you know. He had nothing to do with it. He was just standing there, popping tray slots, feeding, and something went down, and he was 2 cells down. They ended up shooting him, and didn't even hit the dudes that was fighting. So you don't know if you're ever going to get shot or not. So you either get down or jump under the tables and, you know, see if you get shot or not.
When that ball comes out the gun, it's going to hit somebody.
It's going to hit somebody.
Not going to be who they're shooting at.
No, they shot people in the face, you know, broke their eye socket and all that, you know, just shoot people whatever and get away with it. Especially ones that ain't got nothing to do with the fight. That's not right.
Everybody I've ever talked to said that there's not really no black guards up there. They said it's all a bunch of redneck chewing the back of hillbillies.
No, it's 3 black guards, a sergeant, canteen officer, and then some other black guard that does something else, but everything else is...
That's when you know there's not a lot of black guards, when you can say there's 3, and you know what all 3 of them do.
These big redneck dudes, sloppy redneck dudes that just walk around all day, spitting, chewing tobacco, talking shit. So,
Tell them what happens when people spit the chewing tobacco out.
you know, they got workers come around, whatever. They pick the chewing tobacco up, take it in the cell, wash it off a couple times, and then turn around and sell it. You know,
They microwave it to dry it out, and then sell
all
it.
of that, and then sell it like, you know, like it's regular tobacco. But in all reality, it's not. You know.
So you got guys smoking the tobacco that he chewed and spit out on the floor.
Yeah, it's a real nasty situation.
How was the living conditions? How much are y'all allowed to come out each day?
Well, you know, some days we come out 3 or 4 hours, but you know, most of the time you come out 2 hours during the day, 30 minutes after count, in the evening after lunch, and 30 minutes at nighttime. So you're really not coming out at all. Most of 20, 21 hours you're in your cell. So if you're not acquainted with your cellie, it's a bad situation. You know what I mean?
Now, with them being country boys, do they like try to put white people with white people and black dudes with black dudes?
Yeah,
I know most prisons don't do that, but I know when you're dealing with like redneck dudes and compounds like that, they more or less put white dudes in the cell with white dudes and black dudes in the cell with black dudes.
They segregate them like that, you know. They put the white dudes with the white dudes, black dudes with the black dudes, Spanish dudes with Spanish dudes, you know. That's how they keep it, you know. So they're not gonna mix up the race or none of that.
But the population's not like that. Like a lot of the guys that watch, a lot of my subs are from out west Cali area, and they'll say it's segregated. Like when you come in, the whites go over here and the blacks go over there and the Mexicans go over there. Is it the same way there, or can you just kick it with whoever you want?
I mean, you can kick it with whoever you want, but when they bring you into the pod and they put you with somebody else, it's either gonna be your kind or you ain't going in there, you know.
What do you mean you're not going in there?
There's no white dude going in there with a black dude. No white dude going in there with a Spanish dude. They're putting everybody.
You're talking about in the cell.
Yeah, to the color.
But I'm saying, and every day just kicking it, like you could sit down with a group of black dudes and play spades, and the white dudes ain't gonna look at you like you're crazy.
No.
Or you can kick it with a MS-13 or a Spanish dude, and nobody's gonna look at you like you're crazy.
No.
Yeah, because out west, and a lot of my viewers will tell you, out west they got what's called the Woodpile. As soon as you come in, the white dudes are gonna approach you and say, "Hey, you're with us."
Yeah.
And if you're not with them, then they're against you, and then everybody else is against you, and your ass is pretty much dead meat. So let everybody know what sent you to prison. How did you end up like? It's hard for me to interview you because I know all the answers, but like, what led you down the road to going to prison?
You know, I was working for my brother, you know, ever since he started his company or whatever, you know, and I just, you know, making a lot of money. I was doing landscaping on the side and all that, and I ended up doing drugs in the process of working with him, you know. So I was doing drugs so much that, you know, it didn't matter how much money you're making because everything's taking your money. All the drugs is taking your money. You know, he tried to bring me to the house, detox me and everything, you know. And I ended up leaving his house one day, you know what I mean? And I ended up taking money from my brother, you know. I regret that, you know. That shit hurt me. That was something I'd never done with my brother. Me and my brother has always been best friends. You know, and I took money from him one day. I went and got high. And then a couple of days later, I ended up robbing a Dollar General. You know, that's serving no purpose. I was just walking up the highway and thought, you know, let me go in here and take their money, you know. I've never done anything like that before. Never robbed anybody like that before. But when it's an addiction, you do what you need to do to get high, you know. So I done that, you know. Ended up with an airplane, a helicopter, and some dogs chasing me, you know. And after an hour and a half, 2 hours, they got me, took me to jail, and you know, ended up doing 4 years behind that. And Wallace Ridge has taught me a lesson, you know. That's somewhere you never want to go. That's a rough place.
Do you think that being at Wallace Ridge helped you? Like, say had you had stayed at the other compounds you were at, Lunenburg or Augusta or Dillwyn or Nottoway or somewhere like that, do you think if you'd have just stayed there that you would have came out the same way you went in? Or do you think going to Wallace Ridge, like seeing what you see, because you know Wallace Ridge, anybody tell you, there's stabbings there every day.
Yeah.
Every single day there's somebody getting stabbed. He said that even with the stabbings, and this is new to me, in the state of Virginia, if you stab somebody, you're going back to street court. You're going to get a attempted murder charge. You're going to, go back in front of the judge. He said dudes are stabbing each other up there, and all they're doing is putting them in the hole. Then he said, you might come out and go back into the same pod with the guy that stabbed you.
Yep.
Do you think that Wallace Ridge was a good experience? I mean, I know it's not good because of all the bad stuff that happened, but do you think it changed you in a way that would make you not want to go back to prison?
Yeah, the lower levels, it's like you're still living on the streets, Get what you want, do what you want, and, just keep it moving. So I felt like if I would have stayed at the lower levels, I probably would have came back, Tell you the truth, like, it's messed up down there. Like, it's like you're on the streets.
Yeah, any and everything you can imagine is in there.
It's there,
Everything
do what you want.
Dope, crack, pills, you name it.
Like, I never seen nothing like it. But one time I went to Wallace Ridge, it was a whole nother story, There's none of that going on up there. You're not getting no drugs. You're not doing none of that. You might get some chewing tobacco, spit back up, and wash, and smoke, Might drink some wine. That's all they got going on up there,
Some clear.
Yeah, or some clear. But none of that's happening up there, Wallace Ridge, I think, saved my life to where I won't come back to prison, It helped me mentally and physically to not want to come back to that place, And I'm not glad I went there, but in a sense, it helped me with the rest of my bid and let me know this is not the lifestyle I want no more,
You were up there, you went, Wallace Ridge would be the last place you could go because you can't go anywhere after that. No. You were there for a year.
Yeah.
How much of that time did you spend in the hole?
7.5 months.
From fighting with the COs?
Yes.
Knife charges?
I got caught with 2 knives at once, Got caught, I fought the CO 3 or 4 times, Every time I went to the hole, it's 2-3 months,
Why were you fighting with the COs like that?
Because they're just reckless amount. They're disrespectful, reckless with the mouth, They don't have respect for nobody, and they don't care. They'll call you boy. They do all that, I give respect when respect given, I don't like to be called a boy. It's something you just don't call a man,
Right. I've told y'all, boy is derogatory for homosexual, gump, sissy, and there's nothing. I got nothing against gay people. Hey, live your best life. That's your life. Mm-hmm. But the last thing you do, and I've told people in this past, is call a man outside of his name. You don't call nobody a boy. You don't invite nobody to your private parts. The moment you tell somebody, suck my, you already know, like, there's no talking about it. There is no, are we going to fight? Everybody's going to look at you like he should have already been punched him in the mouth.
Yeah, that's something you do on spot,
So with the guards calling people, and they call people much worse. I've had cellmates. I was actually talking to Banky Pound last night. Y'all go check out Banky Pound if you ain't already. And Banky was telling me some of the things the guards used to say up there. He did time up at the Ridge. And I've had other dudes, and he's like, you ain't never felt more disrespected than when you get up there and the people talk to you like you're a piece of trash. He said, you got rednecks calling black dudes the N-word. Like, just straight, not like street dudes say it with that R on the end, like straight saying it to their face, calling everybody boy. And you gotta, like, were you one of the only dudes who were fighting with the guards, or is it known that dudes are just constantly popping off on these guards?
They're popping off on them, Like, here in the last year and a half, 6 months, a couple Spanish dudes got into it with the guards and they ended up stabbing him. Well, they got them inmates in Colorado on life support drinking out of a straw, They shipped them out of state because they messed them up so bad. They don't care who you are or what color you are, and when you start talking to them, they're going to gang up on you, take up medical, where there's no cameras or whatever, and beat the hell out of you,
The only color they care about is the color of that uniform.
Yeah, they stick
it.
together. That's a brother gang up there. They stick together, and I don't care how many it is. They're gonna come in, and everybody's gonna get their licks. You know, he might come out with missing teeth. I seen somebody get kicked in the mouth by the guard and lost his teeth in the front. You know, dogs come in, they let them just bite you and eat you up before they even call them off you. You know, and then you know it's not right. They shoot you up close before you even coming out of there after they already shot you. It's not right like that. You know.
I've talked to him on the phone before, and he'll be like, "Hey, I got to lock down. I got to go. Bye." Click. And hangs up the phone. And when I talk next time, I'm like, "Why you get off the phone so quick?" He's like, "Because they don't tell you but once." He's like, "They're going to say, get off the phone, and the next thing you're going to feel is they're going to rack that gun, and they're going to hit you with that ball, right?"
Yeah.
Like, there is no, "Hey, man, we said get off the phone." None of that's going to happen. It's get off the phone, shh, boom, and they hit you.
Usually you hear them say, "Hey, get down, get down." You don't get down, they start firing. Then they say, "Get off the phone." If you don't drop that phone or hang that phone up at the time they say that, they're going to shoot you while they're shooting the other guy. There's two guys in the booth, you know. Two shotguns in the booth.
And the booth is way up in the air, right?
It's about 15, 20 feet up in the air, you know. So they can light you up close. If you're far away in the pod, we're all right, but they're going to still hit you, you know. It's not they're just aiming at you. They're just shooting all around to try to hit you. Ain't none of them got no aim. They might hit the guy beside them 10 feet away, 15 feet away. You know, a guy on the phone, my homeboy got hit on the phone. He had nothing to do with it. You know? So, it doesn't matter up there, you know. They just want to clear the floor and whatever. If you don't get down, when that dog comes in, if you're not on the floor, you're the first person going to get eat up. And then they're going to the other guy. You know?
How's the gang politics up there, like, with the gangs? Are the gangs real active, or are they just kind of keep it quiet so the guards don't mess with them, or are they just running around off the chain like everywhere else?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's off the chain up there like that. But, you know, you got your Bloods, your Crips, you know, your Richmond phone, your 757 phone. You got, you know, GDs. You got your ABs. You got all that, you know. But if you don't come to an understanding up there, shit can get real. Like, when I get on that phone, or if anybody else on the line gets on that phone, if you don't have your back to the wall or have somebody watching you, they can run up and stab you, you know. A couple times, 3 or 4 times, I had a homeboy beside you hit you up at the same time they're hitting you up. So you got to pay attention. That's not somewhere you want to come out and be caught slipping.
And the time you were there, how many people you think you seen get stabbed?
Oh, man, I can't count it on my hands and toes, bro.
Like, this is pretty much every time you turn around. It's just like, and I've tried to explain that to people because I've seen a lot of stabbings. It gets to a point where it's kind of just like, you don't even really, you just glimpse over there and just go ahead and just go to your cell. You know, a lot of people would stare and watch, but it happens so much you kind of get used to it.
Yeah, so it's no going to your cell when that happens. You got to get down on the ground, you know. They don't open cells or nothing. So you got to be down on the ground when that shit happens. They could be over there still fighting and stabbing while they're shooting, you know. Some people get hit and just keep going, you know. But it's no getting away from it, you know. You get stabbed or you're stabbing somebody else, you go to the hole and come right back out and be in the same pod with the same person
that you just tried to kill.
You know. That's up in medical, still bleeding with holes all in him, you know. And it's just crazy like that, you know.
And back to those mace balls he was talking about. For anybody that's never been hit with the OC or mace, imagine a ball that is full of mace, and when it hits you, it pops and explodes. That doesn't just mess you up. That messes everybody up in the vicinity, in the entire vicinity. He was telling me we had a long drive. It took me almost 7 hours to get there. Then it was 3 hours before he got released. It was longer than 7 hours to get back because of the traffic. But he was telling me he was just, you know, arguing with a guard one time, and while he was at the door arguing with the guard just sprayed through the door and just hit him in his face.
Yeah, so one night, me and my celly was in there. So they keep the lights on, you know, from 6 in the morning till 9, 10 o'clock at night, you know. It's like you're under a heat lamp, you know. So it either bothers you, give you a headache, it makes it hot in there. So we ended up putting our burgundies up on the light, you know. CO come by, he was like, "I need y'all to take the burgundies down." I was like, "Man, it's hot in here, the lights, you know, giving us headaches." He was like, we need you to take the burgers down. We was like, nah, we're not doing that right now, whatever. So I walked over to the door and I started talking to him. He ends up spraying through the side of the door, and I'm still talking to him. And I was like, did you just spray me? He was like, yeah, I sprayed you. Then he sprayed again. I ended up coughing, choking, and everything, and they end up leaving. Come back, me and my Sally was like, yeah, we need to take that down. Because they just sprayed us through the door for a light being covered, you know.
And you just messed everybody up in the cells next to you.
Next to us, you know, it goes to the vents, it goes up and it goes down, you know.
Right, so
side
all
to
the
side.
other vents, all the cells that are attached to that vent just got sprayed as well.
So I'm standing at the door like, you know, he didn't spray me in my face, but he might as well have. Because he sprayed right through the crack. You know, I'm standing there, started choking, everything. You know, went and sat on the bed and covered my face up with a towel. Had to clean the door and all that, try to get it open. I popped the tray slot. They ended up coming back, shut the tray slot, you know.
But this is more or less an introduction, man. I know my mom wants to see him. My mom hasn't seen him yet. Still got to see my sister, and we got other family members he's got to go see. So we're going to cut this short for today. It's just a sweet, quick introduction to who he is. Like I said, you'll be seeing a lot more of him. Is there anything you want to tell anybody when it comes to addiction? You let your addiction take you down the wrong road. Is there any advice you would give to anybody that is currently dealing with addiction?
Yeah, man, like the stuff they got out there now, man, it will kill you. You think you can come out of prison and do what you was doing before you was out there? It's not gonna happen. It's gonna kill you. You know, it's not dope anymore. It's not crack anymore. It's not coke. Everything is mixed up, man. Like, all I can say is leave that alone, man. Unless you want to go to your grave, it ain't gonna send you nowhere but to your grave or to prison. That's the life you gotta live, you know.
What would you say to somebody that wakes up every day with the urge to get high?
Man, try to live a better life. It's hard. It's hard to get off of that, you know. When you got that urge, and that's what you want to do at that time, you know. And you're addicted, and you don't know what else to do. So you're going out doing stuff that you normally don't do, you know. So try to seek help for that. So that's basically what you need to do. Stop hanging around the people you hang around. Try to live a better life. You know, life's too short to be doing all that.
Yeah, and I tell people all the time. A lot of people agree, a lot of people disagree. For me, I think that when it comes to addiction, you stop getting high when you want to stop getting high. It's just like you wake up each day and you decide to go rip and run and do whatever you do to get high. Always think like this. What if tomorrow you wake up and you say, hey, I'm just going to be sick. And I'm going to be sick for the next few days. And I'm going to nip this in the bud before I either die or end up in prison. The place he just came from, and you've seen the clips in the beginning of the video. It's not a place you should send dogs, much less human beings. You heard him say they took the dogs. They got dogs. They removed their teeth and put screw-in titanium teeth in these dogs' mouth. How is that not animal cruelty all the way across the board? But since these dogs are being used as weapons, they want to make sure that when he bites down in your ass, he don't break a tooth don't come out, and that he's going to do the most damage.
And he's not letting go, you know. Once he bites you and got a hold of you, yeah, it's a wrap. He's going to tear you up, you know. Like I said, I seen calf muscles missing, pieces of arm, ass is being bit, you know. That the dog's vicious. And he don't care if you're not the person fighting. When he comes into that pod, you're on the phone right there, you're laying down, he's the first person he's going to bite. They're not trained for that. They're just trained to bite you.
Bite whoever. Bite an inmate.
If you got burgundy on, you got orange on, your ass is getting bit.
So me and dude over there fighting, you're standing there and the dog comes in, the dog attacks you.
Yeah, they could be shooting the guy in the back, you know, but he's still chewing you and him up over there by the phone, laying down, doing nothing.
You're laying on the ground and the dog's just biting.
Yeah, you got your hand over your head and tearing your arm up. It's not right. And then at the end of the day, you can't do nothing about it unless you want to file a lawsuit. But all in reality, they don't care about none of that, you know. Wallace Ridge is messed up.
How do you feel? You ain't even been out a full 8 hours. He came home from the hole. Yeah. That's why he hasn't really shaved up or anything. When I picked him up this morning, he was being released from the hole. Like, did his time all the way to the gate from the hole. How do you feel? Like, try to explain how you feel. What's the feeling you feel now that you're out? Like, are you anxious? Are you scared? Are you nervous? Like, what's the feelings with just being released? Are you still, like, shocked and disbelief? Like, does it not feel real? I know this time yesterday, You were probably had the bubble gut sitting in your cell praying, please, I hope I go home tomorrow. Like, how do you feel? Like, explain to the people how you feel being fresh out of prison.
You know, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of depression, you know, getting ready to come home. It's been like that for the last 5, 6, 7 days, you know, not knowing if you're going home because I don't know if they have a hold on me for doing what I did at the other prison, fighting other COs, you know. So I don't know if I get ready to get to the door and then they transfer me somewhere else because of the shit I did at the other prison. Well, I don't know if this place has got another street charge on me. That's a lot of stuff going on in your mind, and you don't have a clue what's going on. You've never been hit with papers, so stuff I did in Nottoway was a year and a month and a half ago, you know. So, but you don't know if they got a hold on you.
So your focus prior to coming home wasn't really coming home. You were more or less scared that they were about to hit you with an indictment for the assault on the officer up at the other camp.
Yeah, I was scared that I had my brother drive up here 8 hours. Don't even know if I'm gonna be out to come out to him, you know. And that's the messed up part because most of the time they don't tell you. They just have officers ready to transfer you to the next prison or next jail, so you can get your charges, you know, and try to get a bond there and get out.
And I've seen that. I've seen that happen, man. I had a homeboy bunking that he got caught at one camp with a cell phone and some other things. And on the day he was released, he was set to go home. The prison, it was at James River. That county was there waiting. Took him to court, charged him, and put him in jail in the county that James River Correctional Center was at. So, we're gonna get ready to wrap this up. But now that you're home, what are your plans? What do you look forward to doing? Like, what are you gonna do to stay out? What do you want to do that you didn't do last go around? Like, what is your plan? You know, you gotta have a plan when you come out here.
Yeah, you gotta set goals, you know.
So what are your goals? What do you look forward to doing?
Like, I'm getting a job here soon, you know, and I need to get my license back, you know. Go to DMV and get my license back. That they send me paperwork where I can get my license back. So I need to do all that. Then, you know, I need to build my relationship back with my son. My son's 8 years old, you know. When I went in, he was 4, you know. So he really doesn't know me that much because his whole life I've really been locked up, you know. So he has anxiety too about meeting me. He doesn't know if I'm gonna get locked back up or any of that, you know.
And even prior to the 4 years, he was in and out of jail. Like, do 2 years here, a year here. You were actually locked up when he was born, right?
Yeah. So I called my wife one day, and she was at the emergency room with my mom, and I heard my son's birth over the phone. I was doing 24 months at the time at Henrico jail. So that hurt me, you know. So I really, in my son's life, I've really only been there a year and a half. And that hurts, you know. I can't get that time back. That's the most precious years of a child's life, you know. And that really hurt me. So all I can do is try to build that and make up that time. But you'll never be able to make it a time and, you know, that you was gone at them precious years. You've lost that.
Right.
You know, you can make up time from there, but you can't go back.
Yeah, you can't get that time back. All you can really do is try to make up for it. You can try to do better in the future. You know, set goals, do things with your children. But as far as those years are gone, they're gone. Watching them grow up, like I've told y'all with my son, he was 2 when I left, 12 when I returned, and I was a piece of shit dad prior to going to prison, so I wasn't really around. So if you guys are watching, if you got kids, and you want to watch them grow up, stay out of trouble. You want to watch somebody else, you know, become daddy and get called daddy and raise your children, keep doing what you're doing. They got a place for you.
Yeah,
So
you know, it doesn't matter where you go, you know. If you want to stop doing drugs, you can stop doing drugs. It's your people, place, and things, you know. Drugs are everywhere. It doesn't matter where you move and all that, you know. If you want to stop doing drugs, that's up to you, you know. You got to make that commitment, you know. Nobody else can make that commitment. You got to, you know. If you got to put yourself in rehab and do all the other, you know. But it doesn't matter where you go, where you live. how far you move away. Drugs are all around the world, you know. It's up to you to do what you need to do to make that commitment, to live your life, you know. Life's short. So,
I hope this is part one of this, man. We're going to jump into a part two next go round. I'm going to give him a couple days to adjust, link up with some family members, you know, get some meals in him, get a haircut, go shop and do the things he needs to do. Y'all know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? And like always, this is Jay Williams. Let's live life. And to all my real ones, and there are some real ones watching, because y'all still watching me. Man, y'all know how we do. Salute.